What's going on, you guys? Today, I have a special story for you guys. I want to share with you guys a little bit about my childhood, but from a psychological standpoint. So, I'm not going to share with you guys what kind of skateboard I had, what kind of bike I had. I'm going to share with you guys what it was like of a child mind, my child mind. So, ultimately, a lot of us don't go back and think about this, even though it affects us and we don't know how it affects us, and certain things we're dealing with today we don't realize that we picked up from children, from our childhood. You see, we talk about traumas a lot, and a lot of people use the word trauma to identify negativity, and it's not always negativity, man. Trauma is just something that was impactful to your life, to your mind, and your brain recorded it, and it was important enough, and it was shocking enough for your brain to remember it. And sometimes you feel a way when that happens, and you don't know how to process it, and it could affect us in a certain way. So this is kind of heavy. This conversation is a little bit heavy, but it's very, very necessary. So when I was born in Mexico, I was raised in a house with my family, my mother, my grandmother, my cousins. We had that type of house. And in that community, all the neighbors were like family. All the kids knew each other's kids. It was one of them type of areas where adults would be like, who's your parents? And then that's how we would know. And then I started preschool down there. My sister used to walk me down to the preschool down there. It was local. And I remember going to get my lunch, and I loved the little lunch that they used to prepare for me, the little cheap juices with the foil top. So I remember those little things. But when we got into the school, I remember being confused. I remember not really cooperating. I remember not like playing in the recess. It was an indoor school, and it was a 2-story building. And I just don't remember really partaking. And it had a lot to do with the fact that no one taught me how to partake. No one taught me how to function. So then my mother decides to move to the United States for whatever reason. We're not going to get into it this episode. I go from that experience as a 5-year-old. Then I come to we hit LA first. We landed in LA first. I start school in LA, and I think it was kindergarten by that time. I must have had a birthday. So I remember going to schools, East LA, I believe, because there's a certain school that I ran across in my later years that just brought like a deja vu. It was like, I've seen this place before. And then it just occurred to me, boom. So anyways, starting school in LA was crazy because I didn't know the language. I didn't know we were moving. I didn't know the family that we were staying at. My mom and them knew. I didn't know. I didn't know anything. Then I get to school. They give us the lunch tickets. That's how I know about LA system, LA school system, lunch tickets and stuff, like little raffle ticket books. I didn't know that the food was free. I didn't know that it was for me. I didn't know that it was okay to have it. Like, I didn't know it was okay to pick white milk or chocolate milk. These are very fundamental things. But I'm like, you have to remember, man, like, I don't know what's going on. This is all foreign, not just the experience of school, but the system, the people, the language. So then we moved from LA. I was still in kindergarten, so it must have been months, because by the time we got to Oceanside, I started kindergarten in Oceanside. I started at Pacifica Elementary, and then we stayed with my aunt there. So when we get to my aunt's house, my cousins are already Americanized. They're already in the mix. That's how I learned how to steal. We learned how to do all kinds of mischievous things. I was 6. Then my mom we finally got our own apartment, and that's when I started going to Mission Elementary School. When we moved and I started going over to Mission, it was kindergarten. I was still in kindergarten still, and then I went to, I started my elementary school there, career there. But all this happened while I was still like 6. Then I get over there to Mission Elementary School, and now I have to learn another system. It's another landscape. I'm in another environment. My mom's not there. She has to go to work. Nobody's there. My siblings are young. They're going through the same experience, but at their age. It's just this weird space that I was raised in. So now I'm outside every day, all day. Now I started learning how to speak English because my friends outside. I had black friends, Filipino friends, just different kind of friends outside. Then I started picking up English in school. And then I started picking up, I started getting it a little bit. But I didn't get the training that I needed to develop as a child, correctly as a child. I was stealing already. I was looking at Penthouse and Playboy magazines already. We were fighting already. So, I'm 6 still. I'm in kindergarten still. So by the time first grade, second grade hit, I'm already a full-blown menace. But because I came from a loving place, I have this very respectable demeanor. And I think that's what's carried me throughout my life, even to this day, where I'm very well trained when it comes to respect. Like I would go pick up a friend to go play outside, and I would be on my best behavior because my mother taught us how to respect her house. We were not about to disrespect my mother whatsoever. I don't care how mad you got. So when I go to my friends' houses, I would treat their mom like my mom, so I would give them the utmost respect. So they always thought I was this nice kid. As soon as we go outside, we're throwing rocks at cop cars and shit. We're doing all kinds of bad stuff. And we're like 6, 7. So I want to share with you guys that story from a psychological standpoint and how that has affected me throughout my life. Fast forward all them years, in between time, bad relationships, bad friendships, being a bad friend, just all of the things that came in between it. That's like a series if I have to break down my life. So anyway, here I am, 46 years old, man, and I'm hypersensitive. I want to process everything. Even the things that I don't want to process, like my brain automatically breaks everything down. I'm hyperconscious about everything. And I respect that about myself. I respect that I'm like that now. Because I can easily just be like, man, I don't care about any of this. And just go do something else. But I stay away from other things because I absorb and I focus. And I feel like my conscious God, the universe, whoever, I just feel like they're just playing me back my life. Like, hey, bro, check this out. Hey, bro, check this out. That's what my brain does to me. It just keeps bringing me things. And I just be like, damn, that's where this comes from. That's why I'm like this. And this is what, okay, now I'm seeing who I really am. This is without talking to a grandmother, grandfather. This is me not talking to nobody. I don't even talk to my mom really about our upbringing because we just don't have those talks like that. We talk a little bit, not too much. We don't get too deep. So here I am at 46 years old, still figuring stuff out. As a child, a lot of those things were traumatic, man, because anxiety was one of my best friends back then because it seemed like every situation I was thrown into, whether I liked it or not. Whether it was just school, whether it was just with friends, girls started having crushes on me and stuff. I didn't know about that. To fighting, like everything was like high energy. It went from calm to high energy. Schools didn't teach you how to process that. I don't know if it's their job or not. But so many things happened by 6 years old. This is just until 6 years old. So I just want to share with you guys this just to kind of put in perspective what a lot of us are really carrying around and what a lot of us are really have went through that we don't really process. And a lot of you guys just sweep it under the rug and say, that's just the way it was. That's me that's child stuff. I'm a grown man now. You're being affected. There's something wrong with you right now because of something that went on in your childhood that you don't know, that you haven't paid attention to. There's a certain characteristics. There's something in your sauce That's either negative or positive. That stems from your childhood, man. So I just want to put this out there. I hope you guys got something out of it, man. I hope it encourages you guys to kind of take time, man. Isolate yourself a little bit from everybody and kind of tap in, man, and play back a little bit of them young days and see if you can learn something about yourself. At the very least, learn something about yourself. All right, guys. Hope you guys got something out of this, man. Peace.